Welcome to Dr. Sowat's Guide to Audience Analysis. What is an audience analysis? This is a tool that enhances the effectiveness of your communication. It's being aware of characteristics of different groups and then adapting your communication accordingly. What we find is that almost all communication situations involve different audiences that have different needs, motives, values, and sensibilities, and that the message that we send rarely equals the message received. Failures to properly analyze your audience almost always translates into failures to achieve your communication objectives. Consider, for example, the case of a middle-aged professor telling his students that due to safety concerns, they are not to wear thongs in class. He was referring to flip-flops, but clearly his students were interpreting this as something else altogether. How do you go about creating an audience analysis chart? The first step is you want to segment your audience. You want to look at possible ways of dividing this group. Some possibilities are by age, by gender, occupation, beliefs, political party. There's no one best way. It really depends on the situation. Let's look at an example. Let's assume that you're addressing a group about personal financial planning. What's helpful is that if you ask the organizer of the presentation details about the group to whom you'll be speaking, because clearly within a group there are diverse concerns. So let's say the organizer provides you with information that part of the audience are college students, let's say college seniors, and there are also some middle-aged workers. So we've identified those particular audiences. Once you've identified the audiences, the next step is you want to select a lion or someone who has a lot of influence in each of the groups or audiences that you've identified. A lion is an opinion leader, is a person who the group deems to have high credibility. And what you want to do is enlist their help to help influence the group members. You may also decide to use the opinion leader or this person who has high credibility in examples. They then will become the lens through which you complete the rest of your analyses. Now in this case, let's assume that I've done some investigation and I've identified people who have high credibility. With the college seniors, let's say there's Aaron Smith, who I was told is viewed in high esteem with the group, and another individual with the middle-aged workers, Jared Jones, let's say, for example. The next step is using the conceptual lens of the lion for each audience or group. I want to identify a number of things. One is, what is the likely effect of the change or the topic of financial planning on the group? What communication preferences do they have? In other words, how do they like to receive their information? And what does the group already believe or know about this particular topic? What do they know about personal financial planning at this point? And additionally, what are the likely concerns of this group? So as I continue with my example, I see the college seniors. Clearly, they have the most to gain by starting to save early. The channel preferences, YouTube or Facebook. But what do they believe? They think, I'm too young to start saving at this point. Or I don't have enough money, $10, $5 a week. What kind of difference is that going to make? A concern? Why is this important to me now? On the other hand, middle-aged workers, they really have diverse concerns, different concerns than the college seniors. How they're impacted by this. After all, the quality of their retirement depends on how much they saved and the investment choices that they make. They may not be as attuned to YouTube and Facebook. Maybe they rely on magazines and LinkedIn as their communication preferences. Beliefs, they realize it's important to do. You notice how this is different than the college seniors. They're overwhelmed by the choices and confusion tends to limit their action. One concern that they have is, who do I trust? So what you see when you take a look at this chart is that if we hadn't segmented the audiences and we approached it as a one-size-fits-all, we really wouldn't have targeted either because of their diverse impacts and diverse beliefs. The next step is we consider each audience in isolation, again through the eyes of these influential people, and identify the most important communication goals that you would like to achieve with that particular audience. So as I take a look at all the information about the college seniors, what's really most important is I have to develop the need for them. I want to get their attention and I want to motivate them that this is important for them to start saving now. How do I do it? Don't do it necessarily through magazines. That might appeal more to middle-aged workers. I might do it more through YouTube or Facebook, for example. On the other hand, middle-aged workers, they really know, they understand the need, but they're confused by how to remedy the situation. So in this case, I want to provide simple, credible options for them. And most likely, I would need to provide written takeaways for this particular group. The next step in this is I want to detect underlying patterns implicit in the final column to start developing a strategy. Points 1 through 4 feed into helping me craft a communication strategy. And in that strategy, I will answer a number of questions. One is, given what I've done up to this point, do a common set of goals emerge from the final column? In other words, is there a unifying goal that I see? What unique goals will you need to take into account for particular audiences? And also, maybe there are some audiences that just can't be persuaded or motivated. And also, do particular audiences have leverage over others? So what are the implications of doing an audience analysis? Well, one implication is that it helps you take into account the likely reactions of others. That at this point, you're able to anticipate and plan for these reactions. It also allows you to identify necessary trade-offs between the audiences, because there are some audiences that really never might accept your message. So what this helps you do is determine how to invest your communication resources. It also allows you to create messages that will resonate with the majority of audiences. So now you know how to create an audience analysis, and you can now use the audience analysis to craft a communication strategy or develop a plan. And just remember, ask "so what?" at least 3 times a day.